My voice trembled as I stood at the podium, facing the panel of professors at Westlake University. One of them looked at my wrinkled shirt and whispered something to the others. A few laughed. I felt my ears burn. This was the most important day of my academic life, my master's thesis defense, and instead of support, I was met with judgment. They didn't know the nights I went to bed without dinner, the jobs I worked to support my younger sister, or the prayers I whispered through tears. I wanted to run out of that room, but then, in that very moment, I remembered a scripture, and Jehovah gave me the courage to speak. Hello, friends. Welcome back to the channel. I just want to take a moment to thank all our subscribers for your love, encouragement, and support. Every like, comment, and share means so much. And if you're new here, please subscribe so you won't miss more real-life stories that strengthen our faith in Jehovah. Now, let's get into today's story. My name is Nathan Collins, and this story begins in my second year at Westlake University in Ohio. I was 27 years old, older than most of my classmates, because my road to higher education was far from smooth. After losing both of my parents in a car accident when I was 15, my younger sister, Emily, and I were left to fend for ourselves. We had some relatives, but they lived across the country and had their own struggles. It felt like we were alone until we began studying the Bible with Jehovah's Witnesses. I still remember the first time a brother read Psalm 68, 5 to us. A father of the fatherless and a protector of widows is God in his holy dwelling. That verse stayed with me. I held on to it every time things got rough. By the time I was accepted into Westlake University's master's program in environmental science, life had already tested me more than I thought possible. Emily was just starting her freshman year in the same school, majoring in psychology. We were both determined to get our degrees, but the costs were overwhelming. I worked 3 jobs: early mornings at a warehouse, afternoons in the university's janitorial department, and weekends delivering groceries. My schedule left me exhausted, and sometimes I fell asleep with textbooks still open in my lap. Then came the news that would shake me. My thesis defense date was set for just 2 weeks away. I had been preparing, but my limited time and resources meant I hadn't polished my presentation the way I wanted. To make matters worse, the small amount I had saved for a decent outfit was spent on Emily's lab fees. I didn't regret it, but I knew it meant walking into my defense in an old shirt and shoes that had seen better days. In the congregation, brothers and sisters encouraged me with Philippians 4:13. For all things I have the strength through the one who gives me power. I repeated that verse to myself every morning. But as the defense day drew closer, anxiety began to crush me. The morning of my thesis defense, I woke up before dawn. I ironed my shirt as best as I could and prayed longer than usual, asking Jehovah for courage and a clear mind. When I entered the seminar room, I could feel the tension. My professors sat in a long row, their faces unreadable. As I set up my slides, I overheard one of them say softly to another, "Couldn't even dress properly for this? This is a master's defense, not a high school project." Those words pierced me. I felt my confidence drain. My hands trembled as I clicked to the first slide. Halfway through my presentation, one professor interrupted, "Mr. Collins, your methods section is lacking detail. Did you even conduct this research yourself?" Another smirked. I froze. My mind raced. I could feel every eye in the room on me. For a split second, I considered walking out. But then a scripture popped into my mind. Isaiah 41:10. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. Do not be anxious, for I am your God. I will fortify you. Yes, I will help you. I took a deep breath and said, "Professors, if you'll allow me, I'd like to share something before I continue." The room went silent. I told them my story, about losing my parents, about raising Emily, about working 3 jobs, about how every choice I made, even what I wore today, was for her to stay in school. "You may see a wrinkled shirt," I said, my voice steady now, "but Jehovah sees a young man standing here by his strength, and with his help, I am going to finish what I started." I finished my defense with a clarity I didn't know I had. When I concluded, the room was silent. For a moment I feared the worst. Then, one of the younger professors leaned forward and said, "Mr. Collins, that was one of the most honest defenses I've heard in this department." Another nodded slowly. "Your data is solid. Your conclusions are well supported, and your determination is admirable." To my shock, the panel unanimously passed me. My thesis was accepted without revisions. But the most unexpected blessing came next. Dr. Harper, one of the senior professors, the very one who had criticized me at the start, approached me after the session. Her eyes were moist. "My nephew dropped out of college last year," she said. "I wish he had your faith and perseverance. Tell your sister she won't have to worry about rent anymore. I have a furnished apartment near campus that's sitting empty. She can move in, rent-free, until she graduates." I was speechless. Emily burst into tears when I told her. We both thanked Jehovah that night in prayer, overwhelmed by his kindness. It reminded me of Malachi 3:10, where Jehovah says, "Test me, please, in this," says Jehovah of armies, "and see whether I will not open to you the floodgates of the heavens and pour out on you a blessing until there is nothing lacking." Looking back, I realized that day wasn't just about earning my master's degree. It was about seeing Jehovah's hand in my life more clearly than ever before. Jehovah didn't just help me defend a thesis. He strengthened me to stand with dignity when others looked down on me. He gave me the words to speak when my mind wanted to shut down, and he moved hearts in ways I couldn't have imagined. In our congregation, I shared my experience during a midweek meeting. Several young ones told me later that it encouraged them not to give up on school despite their own hardships. The practical lessons I learned are ones I still carry today. Never judge by appearances. 1 Samuel 16:7 reminds us that Jehovah looks at the heart, not the outward appearance. Put spiritual priorities first. Even during my busiest semester, I never missed a meeting. That spiritual fuel gave me the strength I needed. Rely on Jehovah's timing. Proverbs 3:5-6 teaches us to trust in Jehovah with all our heart. He knows exactly when to open the right doors. To anyone watching this who feels like giving up, whether it's in school, work, or just life, please remember, Jehovah sees you. He knows every sacrifice you've made, every tear you've shed, and every prayer you've whispered. There will be moments when others misunderstand you or look down on you, but those are the very moments Jehovah can show his power in your life. So keep going, keep trusting him, and one day you'll look back and see that he was guiding every step, even the ones that felt the hardest. That's the end.